All you hipsters out there, I know you came in to sign on to the off night because we're here. You know what that means? Your MC and host and guy who knows everything about everything, Mr. Mark Sweetman. Come on out, Mark Sweetman.
All right. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Take back. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What happened here?
I'll do a bad Sammy. Hey, man. Come on out, man. You're doing really good. That's a terrible bad Sammy. But
I'm coming. Where am I? Hold on. All right. Well, there I am. I got to get both of us on. Oh, here. Hold on. Got it. All right. See, this was a lot easier when we had Seth working for us because he did all the board stuff, and all I had to do was look bright when I came on. So, anyway, welcome to the off night. This is the night that all the comics gather together like we did in the old days. Monday night, not too many gigs. Well, in the real old days, there were a lot of gigs on Monday night. You'd have your one-nighters and open mics and stuff, but
the open
anymore,
mics
you know the deal.
Open mics are on Mondays or
Tuesdays. Mondays, Tuesdays, some clubs Sundays. You had we had one club in town here. I can't remember the name of it now. They would do a Sunday show at like 5, right, to get the headliner out before 8 o'clock out of the airport, and then they would have like an 8 o'clock open mic on Sunday night. So they did a professional show and an open mic, which the salad days of comedy. Yes.
Oh, the salad days.
With me here as he is every week is my bearded and hatted friend Andy Jensen. Good to see you, Andy.
Hey guys.
I've known Andy for well over 35 years, and we've been making people laugh in the Detroit, Los Angeles, and for Andy along the Mexican border for a while when he was driving a truck, making those people laugh too. We'll have to tell you that truck story sometime.
Yeah. You know, it depends. I have to make sure that the felonies are passed before I can bring that up. You know,
once the statute of limitations is expired, we can tell that great Rio Grande truck story. So,
and also, I think my brother pointed this out that the acquisition of the 3,100 pounds of weed may still be wanted by the cartel. So I could be
so it's not just the legal states laws that have to be repealed. You have to get past the pissing off the cartel. Yeah. You have to wait till all those people have been gunned down, I guess, right?
Yeah, but I think I was set up as a decoy so I could bring a whole big batch of it behind me. So we won't talk about that yet. You know, save it for future time.
Anyway, how was your week?
Very good. It was constructive. Found out a few things. I have a mouse. He's been living with me for ever since the beginning. I've gotten my shot from Ohio State for some reason. I don't know if we talked about this last week, but
you did. I
went through Kroger's. I went through Kroger's, and Kroger's is putting out. And I was trying to get it myself. I think I got one up in Clinton, but I couldn't get through. My phone wouldn't get the right button on it. So 2 days later, I have my friend Mark. He goes out there. He's got a computer, does it in like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets me hooked up to a place, it's within 50 miles of me. I went down to Maumee, Ohio, which surprised me. But actually, they're open. They're open for, out-of-towners or out-of-staters.
I don't know what's not open here. I really don't know what's not open here. I mean, they're doing 4,500 a day down at Ford Field now. In fact,
I know that. But I got the setup, and I went down there with all my red clothes and my red plaid on just to kind of blend in, so I didn't, couldn't wear my Detroit Tigers outfit. So I decided to, just blend in. And it was great. Went down there, got a shot. Well done. I went shopping at Kroger's and came home. But now, to go back, I got an incentive. They're going to give away free donuts. And there's a Krispy Kreme donut shop right down there.
I love how they're going to save us from COVID, but kill us with diabetes. That's
exactly. I get the CDC. You got to make sure you have your CDC card with you to get the donuts.
That's right. My wife and I have talked today about taking our CDC card once they're filled out and we show that we're vaccinated, getting those blown up and put them on T-shirts. We just wear those T-shirts wherever we go to show that we've been fully vaccinated.
Well, yeah, you got to hang on to those things because you maybe have to need them to travel and stuff in the next few.
Well, you did notice you did notice how many spaces on. It's not just 2 spaces for the 2 vaccine. In fact, have I got it here? No, that's upstairs in my room. But it's in a safe place. My wife won't let me hold on to it because I lose everything. I lose credit cards and insurance cards and all kinds of crap. So,
well, I taped mine to the calendar date of when I have to go get the second shot. So it's right there.
Yes. Yeah, so you are still a working comic because you've got a calendar with huge dates on it, right? And those large,
I still work in the old days. I use pen and pencil, and I use longhand. I even wrote a letter in a longhand today. So there we go.
But I knew that my mom had accepted my career choice. You know, parents don't really like when you decide you're going to go into comedy or music. I mean, musicians and actors probably get the same thing. But I knew she had accepted it for Christmas one year. She gave me this wipe-off wall calendar that I could put up on the wall, and then with an erasable marker write in everything I needed to. And I'd used the thing for like 20 years. I could wipe it off every year and add my New Year's dates and then stuff.
There you go.
Use that right up until I got a smartphone, I think.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
even use a smartphone. But yeah, go ahead. Bring on the other new people.
Let's bring on everyone else because I want to get them into the discussion. I want to talk to you a little bit about the tournament. Are you still do you gamble on the tournament at all? Because I'm interested in your gambling.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm waiting to the Final Four, and then when the Final Four get in there, that's when I'll start doing the parlays. And
Got it. So see, now I have a lot of respect for that because to me, you're like I am. You're looking for an opportunity for a sure thing, or as close to a sure thing as you can get. So, or at least something where you have the odds in your favor. Because I think most gambling is just a crapshoot, especially in a tournament like this. My God, they just have so many games that just don't go the way they're supposed to.
Yeah. Well, the Gonzaga guys, they look good. Michigan's in this one. I don't know if they're going to get to the final one though. But the nice thing about the Final Four is that you got research. You can find out what all the other. You take a kind of a smattering of information from the sports guys, and try and think which teams are good, which teams have a potential. So.
All right. Well, we can chat about that. Let's get our other friends in here. If I can get my mouse to work here. All right. Our Florida contingent coming to us from where's she? Fort Myers, I think. Anyway, she can correct me if I'm wrong. Here's Kathy Ryan. There she is. Come on in. Did I get her right? Her mic is off. Your mic is off, Kathy. You need to.
Kathy Ryan.
You need to turn that mic on if you can. Let's see if I can get it here. Unmute. Okay, I unmuted you. You're good now. You can chat now.
Okay.
Kathy, good to see you.
Good to see you too. And I'm not in Fort Myers. I'm actually a little bit north of there on a little tiny dot of land called Manasota Key. And
that's pretty.
There's nothing here. It's great. Just beach. Just miles and miles of beach.
Miles of beach.
And a couple Humphrey Bogarts there. There's no Humphrey Bogart or.
No, well, a couple little dive bars. It's very old Florida. It's kind of fun.
Do you have a wrecked boat on the beach that's got the hole in the side? You know?
Actually, we do have a couple just around the bend over where the drawbridge is to get on.
Sometimes I think some of these touristy areas wreck a boat and put a hole in the bottom of it and put it on the beach.
Well, it's actually what do they call? They call them zombie boats here, and it's a huge problem. And I noticed that in Michigan. For the first time, you now have to, on boat registrations, they've got the number on the hull, on the front there. You now have to engrave it on the back of your boat. So when you dump that boat in a field somewhere in Detroit or in a, little lake somewhere up north, they can come after you.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's the same. Well, we've been doing that with ice shanties for a while too.
Yeah.
People have been moving them out on the lakes, and then the ice melts and they fall in.
Yeah.
All right, and our our other friendly comic, an old friend. He's our New York contingent. Former radio man, former man about town. Well, he's still a man about town. What am I talking about? Sam Greenfield, buddy.
Hi, kids.
Hey.
Hello, Sam.
I want you to know I had lunch with a friend last Wednesday at Katz's Deli, and what they do now is they don't have any more waiters or waitresses. You place your order, and you go up and get it. And I have a tendency to have low blood sugar. And so I went up to get it, and I said, I feel a little dizzy.
Oh, no.
And the next thing I remember, I was on the floor, on my back. I had passed out, and there are like 6 people around me asking me if I was okay. So I asked my friend who I was with, I said, what happened? And he said, well, you said I feel a little dizzy, and then you collapsed.
Oh, jeez.
And you were out for like 30 seconds. And I said, I see. Where's my wallet? No, I said,
I say, where's my Reuben?
So they brought they sent for an EMT. They took my, they gave me this where they stick your finger.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they did that. And they said my blood sugar was low. So the people at Katz's, they were very nice. They gave me a big bottle of orange juice, which has a lot of sugar in it.
Yep.
And then I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
They could not have been nicer, though. Well, I mean, there's no reason for them to be a dick. I mean, let's face it.
Well, you still know how to make Sam.
Huh?
You still know how to make an entrance.
Well, I was already there. It was actually, if anything, an exit. So my friend said, are you going to ask that your food be comped? And I said, I've got balls, but that's way beyond my balls. That's way beyond my, I mean, they didn't do anything wrong. The food is fine. No one did anything to me.
Yeah.
I did it to me. I can't. I said, are you crazy? No, of course not. No, I'm not going to do that. No.
That's way up there on the testicumeter.
Yes, exactly. The gonadometer. Yes, I guess everybody saw that Lindsey Graham now has an A15 rifle.
Well, that's only because they're making them in pink now.
But my big laugh about it was, he said, in case there's a natural disaster, which is what I think of when I think of Lindsey Graham, and when I think, if there's a natural disaster and there's a gang coming around, because that's when gangs go out, when there's a hurricane. And he said, I'm going to be ready for them. And so all my friends here in New York, we were just tweeting, we were texting each other like mad, like, yeah, the only time Lindsay wouldn't care about being attacked is if they come from behind.
Did you hear how Ted Cruz said getting a gun should be as easy as getting a car? And somebody pointed out to him, a car needs to be licensed and registered.
It's stunning to me how stupid he is.
It should be as easy as getting a car.
Yeah.
He's right.
It really is. It's stunning. He's an idiot. And the other thing is, Trump said he may go down to the border. And all I could think of was, when Clinton left office, he was still making speeches and stuff. And all the Republicans are saying, God, you have to drag him out of the White House. This guy lost and won't leave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At least Clinton won both his elections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, the chatter here is, we had the head of the Republican Party in Michigan is also a regent on the board of regents for the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
And he said he called the top 3 state elected officials, 3 of the 4. We got he left Debbie Stabenow alone, Senator Stabenow, but Governor Whitmer, Attorney General Nessel, and Secretary of State, what's her name? I can't think of her name. Benson. He called them witches, and he says we have to get ready to burn the witches or something at the stake or something like that. And then he said, well, what should we do about the 2 Republicans that voted against Trump? Because 2 of the guys that voted against Trump were from Michigan,
right.
2 of the 10. He says, well, short of assassination, I guess we'll just have to see if we can't get them elected out. And this is his own party he's talking about, right? And so,
well, a judge threw out the charges against 3 of the guys who were going to kidnap Whitmer.
No, hold on. They threw out listen, I was here when it happened. He threw out the terrorism charges. They're still being criminally charged for plotting to kidnap the governor. But
the other charges stand.
The other charges stand. They're going to be tried for those charges. It's
that's fine then. That's fine.
He just said
they'll do 20 years.
Yeah, he said terrorism. You don't have enough to prove that it was terrorism.
No, that's fine.
But you do have enough to prove that it was criminal. So
no, that's fine. Oh, by the way,
stupidity. Yeah.
You know what? Everybody here knows what parlor is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is hysterical.
Want to piss off a parlor person? Tell them it's pronounced parlay.
It is en français.
It is.
And so, a lot of people who were on Twitter abandoned Twitter and went to Parler, right?
Yep.
And a lot of the people, I don't know if it's a lot, but a significant number of people went to Parler and were, bragging about I was at the Capitol and I pissed on it, blah, blah, blah. Parler turned them into the FBI.
Wow.
Because they said, we're very conservative, but we're not lawbreakers. And we're not going to harbor lawbreakers. And we're not going to have lawbreakers as part of our, Parler family. I'm so impressed with that. Wow. I really am. I'm impressed as hell with that.
You know what, Sam? I have friends who are staunch conservatives that don't go all the way to being undemocratic. We disagree, but they're not assholes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's what amazes me.
And they can disagree. That's fine. And there's, they like to point to the left and point out situations where we can be, just as far left wing as they are far right wing. That doesn't really answer it, though. I mean, that doesn't really give you any excuse. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. You said a word, and the word is asshole, and that's the thing that bothers me about people like Cruz and Gates and Devin Nunes and Scott and Rubio. They're assholes. They're people you wouldn't associate with, regardless of their political persuasion. They're idiots.
Oh, do you know who the one guy, the Matt Gaetz from Florida? He represents Florida's 1st district. You know whose district that was? Joe Scarborough's.
I know.
Scarborough's pissed.
Well, you know something? That's the redneck Riviera.
Yeah.
The up there and Muscle Shoals in Alabama and all that. That's where it is. I'm not surprised. Pensacola. Have you ever performed in Pensacola?
Oh yeah. Remember that room in Fort Walton Beach? That was a great room.
Yes. I had the manager of the club saying, "Listen, I hear you're very funny, and you seem like a nice guy. So I'm going to take this opportunity to beg you not to do any political material."
Wow.
Yeah.
And and I asked him why. Do you know what he said? I only have one bouncer.
Well, with the vaccine rollout, they gave out 1,000 shots to each county, including those up in the Panhandle, and they started at 6 a.m. and by 6:15 they were all gone. And the southern part of the state, they were still they roll out. They gave 1,000 doses to the ones in the Panhandle, and by 9 o'clock there were still 750 left. No one was signing up for vaccine, and people were driving up to the Panhandle to get vaccine because none of those people were getting them.
Man.
So that shows you the mentality up there still.
Well, there's two ways to look at it. One way is it's really terrible they're not getting the shots. And the other way to look at it is we're thinning the herd.
Yes, I know. You just, yeah. Breathe heavily on each other, would you?
We're offering you this life-saving, serum, and you don't want it. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't, then you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got my second one on Thursday and had absolutely no reaction at all. I didn't even have a sore arm. So I'm beginning to think I was injected with water, but
I had a slightly sore arm in the second one for like a half a day.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah, I know.
So, so I asked my doctor, the guy's been treating my cancer, who's like my main doctor now. And I said, why don't you think I had any reaction? He said, well, you've got a very, strong immune system. I said, I had cancer. And he said, yeah, but he said, your cancer was very unusual. He said, you had it. We treated it. It's gone. It hasn't come back. There's not a trace of it. He said, so, and he said, that's unusual. Usually it comes back a little bit, nothing. I mean, gone. He said, you had a heart attack. They put 2 stents in. You haven't had a trace of any kind of recurrence. And I said, that's probably because I took up smoking again. I think that's probably why. Puffing on a butt, makes me a man. So
you're the man, Sam.
I'm hoping that helps. But maybe not. Is anybody watching the women's college basketball?
They're tough. Boy.
Baylor is beating Connecticut.
Oh, tonight? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
With about 2 minutes to go, they're up by 7.
They beat Michigan on Saturday, didn't they?
Loved that game. Love Michigan. Love Juwan Howard.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. And Beeline was doing such a good job before him. Everybody thought it was such a step back to lose him to the NBA, but man, what a great find that was. I'm
going to tell you something. If I was a coach, if I was a basketball coach, and I had a choice between coaching in the pros or coaching at a place like Michigan, Kentucky, North Carolina, you couldn't pry me out of there.
Kansas.
If I was the coach at the University of Kentucky in Lexington, we've both, been there a number of times, Mark.
Yep.
You couldn't make me. I'd never leave.
My favorite.
You're a god there. You'd have your own radio show, your own TV show. Are you kidding? You'd never buy a drink. You'd never pay for a meal.
My favorite Lexington story was I was playing 2 keys with
in Lexington.
I was playing 2 keys with James Wesley Jackson, and we get done and we're at the bar. And we stayed a little bit too long at the bar. And we're with these couple of cute co-eds, and so we both do after this conversation with these girls. He does a callback, and then I tag that callback referring to our acts, and the girls, nothing, just nothing. And then James goes, didn't you see the show? They go, no, we just got here. And I started doing, I go, then we're doing pretty well.
We're doing great.
We're doing great. They didn't even see the show, and they're still laughing. Did
I tell you when I went that one time I was there, and I think I told you this, when Georgetown played Kentucky.
No,
I didn't tell you this. So Georgetown this is the year Georgetown won the NCAA.
Okay.
And Georgetown plays Kentucky, and Kentucky is up at the half. And then Kentucky in the second half goes 3 for 33. They could not they couldn't hit the ocean if they fell out of the boat. They took 33 shots, they hit 3, and Georgetown won. So when I get introduced, they say he's from Washington, D.C., and, there's booing. But, they're uglier audiences now. There are much uglier audiences now. These guys, it was like lighthearted booing, like, oh, DC sucks, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm sorry you're unhappy with the fact I didn't go to Georgetown. Yeah, but you're from DC and Georgetown's from DC and DC. And I said, I went for a drive down your Avenue of Champions. What a short street. Wow. And then I said, I don't know if you know this. I counted. There are 33 potholes on that street. And out of respect to your team, I only hit 3 of them.
Oh.
And so after the show, the manager said, man, you have guts. I said, I got to tell you something. What's the matter? I'm sorry. I said, I am so proud of that joke. I don't care if they punch me.
I was working the Bears Den the week after Indiana had won that.
Love that room.
Yep. Wasn't that a great room? That was like a Tuesday night.
It was for a while, and then it got bad.
It was, when I worked it was great because it was a Tuesday night.
No. It was great forever. But when it got bad, it got really bad.
That's bad. But anyway, so the entire starting 5 is in the audience. Not all together. They were like, they had dates and stuff. And it was a campus bar, right? And so I can't remember all their names, but I knew them back then. So every time I would eat it on a joke, I go, Keith Sweat, ladies and gentlemen, from the Hoosiers, and big round of applause.
Keith Smart.
That was it, Keith Smart. Yeah, Keith. Well, I don't remember all their names now, anyway. But I'm what I'm doing is every time I did a joke that didn't get a huge laugh, I'm like introducing another player from the team. After they figured out what I was doing, it became like a joke, It's like, and here is the water boy. Eddie Watson, the water boy.
When I was there, Keith Smart came, and he was with these 3 guys, and he was drunk. And he was with these 3 white kids, and they were encouraging him to heckle me. And I said to him, I can't believe I did this, but I said to him, a few years from now, when you are no longer playing here and you run into one of these guys, they're not going to know who you are. They're going to act like they never saw you before in their lives. And I wasn't trying to make the crowd quiet, but it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
And so after the show, I go into the bathroom, and Keith Smart is in there barfing his guts out.
Oh, God.
And he said, they got me drunk. I said, they don't care about you. Do you understand that? If you were 5'8", they wouldn't pick you up if you were hitchhiking in a rainstorm. I said, you got to wise up. You got 3 white guys here, whose car costs more than your dad makes in a year. What are you doing? And so he went on, he had a nice career as a coach and other things like that. The best thing that ever happened there, Todd Yan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I love this story. We're working at Bear's Place, and there's this girl in the audience who won't shut up. She was in the first show. The first show was Town, second show was Gown.
Yep.
And she would not shut up. So I just made her my act. I just hammered her, and the audience was loving it.
You were closing though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's
yes. And so after the show,
in the middle does that.
So after the show, we're waiting. There's another show to go, right?
Right.
Todd and I are having pizza. USA Today said that Bear's Place had one of the top 10 pizzas in the United States.
I remember that.
And this girl comes up and says, I didn't appreciate the way you spoke to me. I said, well, then you shouldn't be talking like a mad woman during the show. And she tried to spill a pitcher of beer on me, but I moved in time. I moved. And they threw her out. So we completed the second show, and then Todd says, there's a great little blues club here, the Bluebird. Do you like blues? I said, yeah. So we go in, and that girl and her boyfriend and a friend of theirs is there. And Todd, who is an imp, he is an imp.
Mm-hmm.
He says to me, do me a favor. Here's my keys. Start the car. I said, okay. Now, everything else I'm telling you, I believe Todd did this, okay, based on the way he ran out of the club. He comes up to them and he goes, listen, I'm really sorry about Sam. He's a little guy. He always thinks he's got something to prove. I know he was a jerk. Let me buy you a pitcher of beer. And the guy goes like this. The guy who goes, yeah, do whatever you want to do, okay? Your time is up here, okay? And Todd comes up to them and spills, like he tripped, the entire pitcher of beer on all of them and goes, oh my God, that's what you wanted to do to Sam. And he ran out. He sprinted out. He dove through the window of his car on the passenger side. He says, gun it. And I'm driving away. And he's talking about he can barely breathe. And our adrenaline was rushing so much over this that we had to pull the car over. We're going like, it was unbelievable. But he actually did that. And then we would go shopping at night for food. And there was, these 24-hour grocery stores, right? And Todd and I would flash each other in the store.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, like at the checkout. Yes. And so when I came home, the girl I was dating at the time said, so what did you do? And I told her, and she said, I don't think I want to know you anymore. I think there's something wrong with you. There's something bad. I said, look. I said, we're Bloomington, Indiana. It's 1 a.m. I know nobody. Todd's a great guy. So let's see each other's peckers. What does it matter? She goes, do you hear yourself? I said, look, I could have stuck it in a salad bottle. Leave me alone. Honey, this blue cheese tastes funny.
Oh, God.
Using John Fox's mayonnaise, I guess.
Oh, God, do I remember that. Don't eat the mayonnaise. There was a kid who we used to work with. I'm wondering if you remember what happened to him. Jason Dixon.
Jason Dixon. Boy, that name sounds familiar.
Out of Kansas City.
Jason Dixon. Tall, thin kid. Dark hair.
Thin. Not that tall to my knowledge.
Jason Dixon. The name rings a bell, but I don't think I remember. Did he have it? That was his stage name too? Was that his?
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah. Curly black hair.
Yeah, I'm picturing a curly black haired skinny kid, but I remember being tall and thin, but maybe he wasn't that tall. Maybe he just looked tall because he was so thin. But no, I don't.
That could be it. Made a great chili.
Huh.
And he was funny. What was the name of the kid who won the? He was black. He passed away. He won Star Search.
Warren Thomas.
No, not Warren Thomas.
Black kid that passed away. One Star Search. Oh. No, I don't.
I can't believe James Gregory is still alive.
Yeah, how's he doing?
Was that Sinbad?
Well, no. I know who he's doing. Some 19-year-old, but
yeah, when will they learn? I mean, he's
speaking of 19, that is now the number of women who have filed charges against Deshaun Watson.
It's like a
19 women.
It's like a competition between him and Cuomo.
Yeah.
Cuomo's father died.
Oh no!
Wow. Today?
82 years old.
Mario?
That's not old.
I remember when he was.
I didn't say it was.
I remember when.
I'm going to tell you something. When I'm older than all of you. When I see someone say,
"No,
are you older than 73?"
74.
You hot number, you. Holy guacamole. I don't want to toot your horn, but beep, beep.
You can toot my horn anytime, Sam.
Yeah.
My God. Last time a woman said that to me, she said, and that'll be $50.
Yeah.
Well, you can't afford me.
Yeah.
Wow. You're not
That's
the
right.
first woman to say that.
That's right. You know, at 74, that she is rare, so that would increase the price because the supply does not meet the demand for 74-year-old women.
Yeah, I mean, when somebody says,
"What are you holding up there?"
Doc Severinsen.
Oh, yeah.
At 93 years old. 93 years old.
Wow, he outlasted everybody.
Good Lord, yeah.
You know why? Doesn't
Why is that?
smoke. Doesn't smoke.
Probably.
Yeah, that'll do it. I don't know how anybody who plays a horn could smoke. I mean, that just takes a lot.
Listen, every time I think of Miles Davis, what didn't he do to his body?
No, I know. Yeah, well,
and how brilliantly he played.
Yeah.
Look at the Rolling Stones. Oh, they don't play horns, but
actually, they're a lot cleaner than you think.
Well, yeah, but they still, a couple of them have been ridden hard and put away wet.
Oh well, I mean, God Almighty, Keith Richards.
Yeah.
You know what? A couple of them are dead too. So
Brian Jones. I think only Brian Jones.
Yeah.
Isn't there drummer? Didn't their drummer pass away?
No, Charlie Watts. No.
Charlie Watts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
He just looks like death, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, he looks like Skeletor, but Keith Richards has been married for 37 years.
Holy shit. That's how long I've been married.
Married a girl from Staten Island.
Wow.
Oh.
And Charlie Watts has been married for over 40 years.
Yeah.
I think the funniest marriage I've seen in a long time is, what was the name of the woman who was married to Mick Jagger, blonde?
Bianca?
Hall.
Oh, Hall. Jerry Hall.
She's married. You know she's married to, right?
Who's she married to now?
Rupert Murdoch.
No shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's love.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Like Melania and Donald. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, actually, Jerry Hall and Murdoch are funnier to me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because when she met Donald Trump, she was 27. Okay. Jerry Hall is 66 years old.
Yeah.
My father used to tell a joke about this woman he knew, and I never understood the joke because I was 10. 10. And the joke was, do you know Estelle, Sammy? I go, no. She's a girl who likes the quiet things in life, like the folding of a C note. My brother had to explain that to me. What dad means is,
yeah, that's not a musical term.
So Miles Davis is in an interview being interviewed along with John Coltrane. And they asked Coltrane, how does he do these improvisational riffs he does? And he says, I can't explain it. I start playing and I'm looking at the chart and everything's going fine. And all of a sudden I just go off on a tangent and I try to get back onto the charts and I can't. I try so hard and I can't. And Miles Davis goes, why don't you try taking the horn out your fucking mouth? Hard to believe he was married to Cicely Tyson.
Yeah, lovely. It's a lovely woman.
Wow.
So did Cuomo's father die today? Is this going to get him the sympathy?
I believe
vote?
So.
Hopefully
I believe so.
It wasn't COVID, was it? In a nursing home?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But I thought he'd be older than 82.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like really? I said,
how old is How old is Governor Cuomo?
I'm assuming he's in his 50s.
No, he's got to be older than that.
Why? He looks bad, but
because he looks bad. That's what I'm
thinking. Kathy's going to the Googleville. Kathy's got her specs on.
He's single, right?
Who?
Cuomo.
Which one?
I know Andrew is.
No, I think they're both single because Cuomo's wife died, the elder.
Oh, okay. 57.
Mildred.
So he's 10 years. He's 64.
Wow.
Something's wrong.
That's 82 and 64. That's 18 years.
That is.
I mean, it's possible, but
yeah.
You think that would have been a campaign issue?
Would you look that up, Kathy?
What
about Mario Cuomo?
Yeah, I just he was born December 6, 1957.
What?
And then what was his father's name?
The elder.
Mario.
The elder.
What's his father's name? Mario Cuomo?
Mario Cuomo.
Governor Mario Cuomo. He was
20. He died in 2015.
Oh, no wonder he didn't look good.
He died 6 years. He died 6 years ago.
For 6 years.
Yeah, so
but I saw this thing online. It said he died. It said died 82. And I wait a minute, this makes more sense. So if he was alive now, he'd be 88.
Yeah.
That makes
that makes it more sense. So so he was 22 when his son was born.
Well, he was born in 1932.
So that's 68. That's 89.
Yeah. All right. Are you sure it didn't? Are you sure you didn't say Mario? Yeah. Are you sure it didn't say Mario Cuomo's career died? Are you sure it said his father died?
Oh, that's so funny. That is funny.
Sorry.
Mario,
no, it's all right with me. A lot of people were pissed at him because he didn't run for president, but he said that, he was governor of the state, and he said they were trying to hammer out a budget, and he felt that if he started running for president, the Republicans would have just destroyed his state.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, these were moderate Republicans. You can only imagine, the Nazis they have in now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rockefeller, Javits. These were Republicans. Those guys would be Democrats now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're right.
So what do you guys think about them giving up the filibuster? Do you think it's going to harm us in the future, or do you think it should be gone?
I think it should be burned alive.
How does it harm us?
I don't
know. Harm us at all.
That's what they keep saying. Like in the future, we're going to come and burn your house down.
They're saying that once Republicans are back in power, they'll use the majority vote to ram through guns for all and no abortions anywhere, and that kind of thing. But I would imagine most of the things that Republicans would try to ram through without if the filibuster died, would end up in court anyway.
Yeah.
So
I think the filibuster is not in the Constitution. It's a Senate rule. You can get rid of it.
Yeah.
And if they're worried about it making things more politicized because you don't work with the other party, well, the Republicans never work with the other party anyway.
Exactly.
They've proven that they don't
Ask
want to
Merrick Garland how well Republicans work with.
I have no memory of the maybe the last 20 years of the filibuster being used as an effective, positive weapon.
Exactly.
Okay. Jagoffs like Ted Cruz, people like that. No.
There was a guy on NPR today. He says, it's not that the filibuster is racist. It's that racists like to use it. He goes, in and of itself.
Well, doesn't that make sense?
Well, yeah, it does. But if you think about it, it does make sense because it wasn't established for the purpose of racism, but racists learned how to latch onto it.
I think the first time I wasn't alive, but I think the first time it was used was Strom Thurmond.
1947, 24
hours.
Yeah,
and then I really have no memory of it being used for good.
Exactly.
Jimmy Stewart used it in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Yeah, but he was a right-wing prick in real life too. So,
but Capra was directing.
I take offense to that. You know what I'm saying?
That was nice, Andy.
That's very good.
That was good, Andy.
I had to jump on that. You gave me a setup. I had to jump on it.
No, that
every
was
time
good.
Andy does James Stewart, another comic gets
his wings.
Gets his wings. Yeah. Can I do my favorite one?
Oh, yeah, you got to tell me, do you want the young Jimmy Stewart who's helping the people out at the savings and loan, or do
at the old savings and loan?
Do you want the old Jimmy Stewart that
I want to do Lindbergh.
Tells his poems on the Johnny Carson show.
My dog Bo. I'm gonna do a poem on my dog Bo.
He told a great story, Stewart, on the Carson show. His father owned a hardware store in Nebraska, old-fashioned kind of, hardware. I mean, and this is so long ago. There was a pot-bellied stove.
Old-fashioned, yeah.
Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, his father owned a hardware store.
He grew up in a city called Indiana, Pennsylvania. So
that's correct.
Okay,
so I thought he was from Nebraska.
No.
All right, then the hell with it.
Are you talking about Carson or Stewart?
No, it was Jimmy Stewart. He was the one who told it. All right, so I got that wrong. But his father did own a hardware store.
Yeah, in Indiana.
And they put it, and somebody in the town put up a sign saying, "The owner of this store is Jimmy Stewart's father." And Jimmy Stewart's father was an old-fashioned kind of guy who didn't like playing second fiddle to his son, no matter who he was. So people would drive by and go, "Is Jimmy Stewart's father here? Is that Jimmy Stewart?" And there was a guy who used to hang out in the store, in the hardware store. Andy, forgive me, but his name was Andy. And he was like Otis the drunk. Okay. He would find a chair near the pot-bellied stove and fall asleep, and dribble be coming down his chin, So when people would come in and ask Stewart's father, "Does Jimmy Stewart's father, blah, 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 blah?" And he goes, yeah, let me show you where he is. And he would bring him to this guy. And he goes, "Yeah, Jimmy's not really good to his dad."
Yeah, Otis. I love the Otis.
And Stewart told that story.
Oh, that's funny.
We got a hardware store. We got a hardware store here that's got a famous son over in Chelsea. Jeff Daniels' family owns a hardware store and lumberyard in Chelsea.
Yeah.
He still lives in Michigan, doesn't he?
He sure does. He only leaves to work. He raised his family here. I mean, he's one of the guys that's what everybody thinks they're going to do. I'll make it and then I'll live where I want to live. And he moved back. He lives in the home he grew up in.
The problem with that, I'm going to live where I want to live. I mean, I admire him for doing that. The problem is he has a pretty set career. I mean, he's a go-to guy. They go to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg one time said, "Listen, I'm not bad-mouthing agents. There's some really good agents, and if you can find one, you don't get rid of them, okay?" She said, "But I'm at a point in my career where I don't need an agent. I need a lawyer." Okay, I need a lawyer. I need a lawyer, to look over. Should I read my own scripts? Okay. And that's where Jeff Daniels is. But a lot of people who we think are very successful, and they need an agent. Okay. And they need to be near where you read for a part.
Yep.
So Jeff Daniels doesn't need that. They go to Jeff Daniels, would you like to do this?
Can we get
He's Jeff at that Whoopi Goldberg point.
Yeah. Well, that's
but there are people who they have to be in LA. They have to be.
Yeah. Well, the people that don't, I don't think they are. I mean, Hoffman and Cruz and Fonda and Tomlin and all these older people. What's his name? De Niro. They don't. Everybody goes, "We need a De Niro." Can we get De Niro? All right, let's get Ed Norton then, or something. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. Well, you know,
there's
Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall and Sissy Spacek. I mean, they don't live together, but Robert Duvall and Sissy Spacek, they both live in like Charlottesville, Virginia area.
Right.
Yeah. Well, a couple years ago, when I was doing election coverage for WXYZ, and we were in the studio a couple days before deciding what the setup was going to be and all that. And and the studio, the building for WXYZ was, very, very lovely, and it had promenades outside and patios and stuff.
I remember Broadcast House. Yeah.
Yeah, Broadcast House. And anyway, so I came out the back door and was walking towards the front.
For Sam's benefit, when she says WXYZ, I know a lot of people will use that as just sort of a WXY. You say XYZ is sort of like ABC XYZ. But there actually is a station here that's WXYZ. So that's
the ABC.
I assume there was.
It's not just a generic. It's not just a generic.
The ABC affiliate.
It's got to be the only one in the country.
There's a KX. There's probably a
KX. But anyway, so I was walking towards the front. There's a guy sitting over on the patio, just kind of strumming his guitar, and I'm thinking, and I look over at that's Jeff Daniels. He's waiting to do an interview with somebody, and he's just plunking on his guitar, singing along. There he is. He doesn't look at all nervous, does he? Or concerned.
Well, a lot of actors like living in New York because people don't lose they don't start wetting themselves when they see them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And in LA, you'll get handed a script. I mean, it's funny, but it's true. Yeah. You'll get handed a script. Yeah. They'll sit at the table you're having lunch and start talking to you. Whereas here,
this is when you know you're old. People magazine, and you're thinking, who are these people? I have never heard of half these people who are splitting up with somebody or having somebody else's baby or all this stuff. And I'm thinking, who are these people?
Here's a question for you.
Their marriage is over. To who?
When was the last time you knew the musical act on Saturday Night Live?
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm lucky if I know Barbara, the MC lately.
Well, I told Barbara, I said, when they start having MCs and I don't know who they are, that's it.
Yeah, I know it.
That's it.
Exactly.
But I don't know these acts. I mean, sometimes they're very good.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're very, very good.
The last new one that I knew was the Eddie Murphy episode when they had can't think of it. Lizzie. What's the
who?
The girl from Houston.
Beyonce?
What's that?
That's mean. Beyonce? Beyonce's from Houston.
Oh, is she? No, it's the other girl from Houston. She was born in Detroit, but she started in Houston.
I have no idea who you mean.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. I'll find it.
One final Jeff Daniels story. I went out and took the directing class at Purple Rose, and he did a couple of interviews there to let us ask him some questions. And we asked the reason why he decided to stay in Chelsea, and he says he wanted to raise his kids there, but it did have a cost. I was not able to get a lot of. I was called out to get a lot of different parts, but I couldn't go. He's still an agent out there working for him, but he basically set it up where he'd be out there. So yeah, you're right about not being there. Cost him some pretty good roles.
Yeah.
But he'd rather have the family existence out there without all the stuff in LA. So
yeah.
He also does theater. He did just recently did he was in To Kill a Mockingbird.
That's right. Yeah, the remake.
Broadway,
yeah.
So. Lizzo is the name of the musical guest. Lizzo.
Oh, should have known.
Big girl.
She is a big girl.
Very talented. Very talented.
Yeah, she's very good.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know her from Saturday Night Live. I saw her on the NPR has this show they call the small desk concert. Have you seen these concerts that they put on where they have one of the producers' desks in at NPR is set up for them to perform music, and so they get as many people as they can squeeze into this office, which is usually about 12, and that becomes, and then they play these mini concerts on NPR.
Are these real people, or just? I mean, are these real performers, or?
Yeah, these are real performers. Let me see if I can find the.
Mark sounded pissed off. Like, yeah, they're real performers, you dummy.
No, but I meant, would we recognize any of them? Okay.
Take it easy.
This isn't the guy from the mailroom that shows how old I am. I'm thinking, oh, the guy from the mailroom.
Yeah.
You heard of email?
That's how a lot of guys got their start.
That's true. And, that's how women got their start. When I graduated in 1969 and had several, friends that wanted to go into business. And they were all, how many words do you type? That type thing. And they said, no, I'd really prefer to work in the mailroom, because they knew you got promoted from the mailroom. You never made it out of the typing pool.
Did you ever see the movie State and Maine?
Oh, great show.
No.
There's a scene in it where this guy comes up to Rebecca Pigeon, who's a local in this town. Mm-hmm. And he says, can you type? And she says, never tell anyone you can type.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. You'll never get cast. We'll keep you in the office forever.
Well, They also had another great line about that kind of thing. You make someone an associate producer. You make your secretary an associate producer instead of giving her a raise.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the water bottles being refilled in the back. They're refilling the water bottles and heating them up so they're actually new.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who was great in that. Everybody was great, but Patti LuPone. when they have the dinner and the director doesn't show up, and she's dressed in this ridiculous Scottish outfit with a tam and just and they went to all this trouble and he's not there. He's just not there. And she goes, I'll tell you what she says, I want them burned, I want them in jail, and I want them shot. I'll tell you something else. You couldn't do. You remember in the movie, the character of Alec Baldwin is having sex with a 16-year-old.
Oh, a real one?
Well, yeah, and his remark is, everybody needs a hobby.
Oh, geez.
I don't know if you could get away with that now.
I don't think so.
No. But to me, the other funny part is that, so where's the old mill? Oh, it burned down 3 years ago. But we came here specifically to film at the old mill. So the writer has to figure out a way to figure out how to figure out the old mill, even though it's been gone.
It was destroyed in 1968 during a spate of suspicious fires.
Yeah. And he writes up a whole new scene for it, Pretty cool.
And what a cast. I mean, it was Alec Baldwin, what's his name? Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yep.
Oh, now there's somebody who's really, I miss him. He was such a great actor.
47 years old.
Yeah. William Macy.
William Macy's in it.
Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
David Paymer.
What's the name of it? I gotta watch. I'll have to watch.
State and Maine. It's a Mammoth movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Mammoth.
By the way, the most cynical line in the movie, because Alec Baldwin gets arrested for statutory rape, his lawyer's there, David Paymer, and Paymer's walking down the stairs with a law book, and he goes, "Okay, here we go, statutory rape, blah 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 blah." And Paymer plays an agent on the Larry Sanders Show.
Paymer did some great roles.
Oh man, seriously. And he says to Larry Sanders, he says, "Are you serious? Do you know how big a deal this is? This deal I'm trying to get for you?" This could put my kids in college. And he goes, you don't have any kids. He goes, I live near some. Who gives a shit? Just listen. I live near some. Okay, with 19 seconds to go, UConn is up by 1.
Okay, and in the men's tournament, we've got 7 minutes to go. And
here's Jimmy Stewart as a college broadcaster.
Houston's up by 4.
It looks like it. It looks like it's in. It's score. He scored. Oh yeah. Well, there you go, folks. Here, see that? He scored. Ireland. So
Donna Reed.
Oh. No, always like Limbaugh, not Limbaugh, but Lindbergh. He sees
Take
Ireland.
your time.
Thank you. It looks like it fits. Oh my God, it's Ireland! It's Ireland! So that's it. So.
Did they really put the flag at half-mast for Limbaugh in Florida?
No, I hope they did.
No. Too many of the department said, no, we're not going to do that. DeSantis.
Oh, that's right. The Attorney General said, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, have you guys seen the Attorney General's ad here about fraudsters? It's pretty funny. She did an ad with her parents.
Oh.
She's a stitch. She's got a good sense of humor anyway. Jesus. But
what fraud regarding like COVID stuff or
no fraud? Just people. Basically, it's an ad, a PSA explaining to old timers what phishing scams are. How people try to get your personal information and stuff.
Yeah.
But
is Jerry Springer still on the air?
Yes.
Is he? I thought he did. I thought he's a judge somewhere on some judging show.
Jerry
or something.
Springer? Yeah. Well, I think he's
on during the day.
Yeah.
Is he really? Wow.
Yep.
Still on during the days. Now maybe it's just reruns, but
I don't think
Jerry Springer.
You know who amazes me?
Maury
Povich. He does literally. He does the same show every day.
Father.
The View and Maury Povich are almost starting to blend together. It's like who's got Trump's baby? I think she's got Trump's baby.
I'm surprised he doesn't get the names wrong. Like it's yesterday's name. I mean, it's every day.
Yeah.
Well, I got to think a lot of those shows too. They do 2 weeks worth of shows in like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, well, that's what they did when I was on $25,000 Pyramid. It was in New York, and Dick Clark was the host, and he would fly in,
right?
And do 5 shows on Monday, 5 shows on Tuesday,
and that's it. 2 weeks. Yep.
Yeah.
Because he didn't live there.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask the guy, to do that. But the thing that I never watched the Springer Show, it upset me too much. It was too insane. But the one thing I remember is one time I saw the very end of it, and they go, and now a thought from Jerry. I go, this is the guy you want a thought from.
Yeah.
This is the guy who just did an hour-long show about a guy who left his wife for his mother.
Yeah.
For her mother. Couldn't have been his mother.
No, for his mother.
No, could have been for his mother. Yeah.
No, for his mother.
Oh God.
No, for his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
future Trump supporter.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable.
Who's got Trump's baby? Mary Ellen.
So, and let's save that for next week. I want to go into some of the solutions we need to have. Somebody has finalized. I've heard Bill Maher finally take my stance on re-educating Americans. Just standard shit,
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, like, understanding that their evidence has to be based on facts, not on what you want things to be,
Mm-hmm.
We have to, I think Biden is kind of saying it, and his new press secretary, I love her. I mean, she kind of pushes.
Oh, she's great.
She pushes people for, prove it. Oh, that's what people say. What people are these people that say? You know what I mean? It's what you've wanted. What you wanted the press to do to Trump, she's doing their job for them. You know what I mean?
I heard that Steve Ducey's son had like a heart attack because they wouldn't call on him.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Then she said, "Did I just call on you? I'm calling on you right now, aren't I? Are you talking to me?"
No, but I mean at Biden's press conference.
Yeah, but she's he kind of implied that Fox never got called on at all, and especially
tough
the Biden
shit.
thing. Yeah, that's
would it matter?
She said, "Don't I call on you every time you're in here?" Yeah.
Yeah. Would it matter if I called on you and I gave the most brilliant answer imaginable?
Exactly. Wouldn't care. You'd still screw it up.
About that conference though, about that thing, I think Biden would do himself a favor if he had somebody just point to the have the press secretary pointing to the people, because he looked really disheveled when he was trying to look down at the paper.
Oh,
I was okay with that. I'm okay with
that too. I mean, and the anti-Trump people or the anti-Biden people are just going to go against everything.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It really doesn't matter.
Here's the idiotic thing about this Biden bashing. Biden, except for Tulsi Gabbard, Biden is the closest thing that the Republicans will ever get to somebody that they would want as president that's not a Republican.
Exactly.
Biden
That's right.
is so far to the center. I think only Tulsi Gabbard would have made them happier.
Yeah.
And
she'd make me happy. Sorry.
And still they bitch. I mean, they want to get him out because he falls down the stairs 3 times? All right, get him out. You know who you're going to have? Kamala Harris. You happy now? Dumb shit.
You know what someone wrote about that? They said, "Yeah, I hear that they're making fun of Joe Biden because he fell down the stairs. On the other hand, he never tried to reconfigure a hurricane with a Sharpie."
Well, I loved when they
never looked into a full eclipse without any eyewear.
Well, I love when they said
but he needs eyewear. He can't read that paper. That's all I was saying. If he had somebody to read it for him, or he put on his glasses, he would be better off.
Well, they said
Biden's conference was boring. But then he looks like he needs help.
I want my president to know his cabinet. I want him to know them by their first names. I want him to know their wives. I want him to know their children. I want him to know that he has people that work for him that are human beings and that he can trust them. I don't want
you know who was like that?
Who?
Clinton was flying to the Middle East, and the reporter said he not only knew the leader of the West Bank in Palestine, he knew the names of the mayors of the towns.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, and that kind of intellectual acuity is what I want from a president, because the last guy had none of that.
He didn't even know what
he didn't care. He didn't care.
They all knew my name. That's what's important.
All the things that happened to Biden this week and all the things he said in reply, when he said, he said of all the things they could have passed, and he even acknowledged of all the things they could have passed, denying somebody water and food.
Water. Yeah. Oh, what a great line. Yeah.
He said, there's something wrong with that. I mean, there's just something wrong.
He said it was evil.
It is evil.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear what George Wallace said?
Yes.
He said, "I'm bringing soda water. I'm bringing water. I'm bringing muddy waters."
That meme's getting passed all around now. He's revived his career with that line.
Yeah, they're gonna fail with that. They're gonna fail with that. And Florida's trying to do it now. Trying to do that now.
Yeah.
Well, in Michigan, what they're trying to do is they're trying to reduce the number of precincts. And I think it could backfire because you can't really reduce the number of precincts in Detroit because it's so populous. And they're going to end up making long lines in some of the Republican districts. And I think it's going to backfire on them, thinking that it's going to keep, because people in Detroit are used to waiting 8 hours in line.
Yeah,
this isn't, you know what I mean? And it's the people in the suburbs that are going to find that it's harder. They also want people to like have picture ID. Well, they haven't passed any of the laws yet, and the governor will probably veto it all. But they also want people to have picture ID to do mail-in ballots and all that.
Yeah, you have to send in a picture of your driver's license with your ballot.
Yes,
if you're going to mail it in. Like,
that's the proposal.
Don't I want everybody to see my driver's license number, my address, the whole thing?
Yeah.
With a ballot.
Why haven't they fired the Postmaster General?
Because they can't. Because they can't. I heard they can't fire him. I heard he can't be fired
until he's hired by a committee of even Republicans and Democrats.
Then fire them.
5 months, they're going to be able to get rid of all those guys and bring in a new crew.
Yeah,
he's there for he's there for a while. But as far as I posted on Facebook today. I got a couple of, I don't know if it was a local one or one that it wasn't on mine. It was on somebody else's. I was responding to somebody else's. I says, what they really need to do, you know what I mean? The Republicans want to play hardball. Let's just give it back to them. Everybody is automatically registered to vote. The post office knows where everybody lives. The IRS knows where everybody lives.
Yeah,
between the IRS and the post office and Amazon, everybody, and we all know when they move because you put in a change of address. So now a letter goes to your old legislators saying they no longer live in your district, and to your new legislators, they now live in your district. Everybody votes, but we are allowed to publish everybody's vote.
Yeah.
See how much the Republicans like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they want to do everything in secret.
Yeah.
Commie bastards.
Oh, it's just disgusting. That whole thing about not even being able to open the absentee ballots till after 8 o'clock on election night. You got hundreds of thousands of ballots sitting there you can't process.
That was the Republicans trying to hold up the counting.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And they knew what they were doing because what they wanted to do, they wanted to give Trump plausible cause for saying it was rigged.
Well, because he at one point kept saying, "Stop the count at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, it should be over."
That's bullshit.
Yeah, well, he knew exactly what he was saying because.
How about this? They investigate as much corruption as they want to. If they don't find a crooked ballot, I get to take a hot poker and shove it up the Republicans' ass.
Collective ass.
I get to shove the molten hot poker up his ass.
Oh, that sounds good. Are we going to keep this live? You want to take it off the live thing?
Can I just
talk about pay-per-view?
Yeah. One quick thing. The Pillow Guy today has a new announcement out. He has new evidence, and Trump. Oh God, that poor bastard. Trump will be sworn in by August. He's taking it to court, and it'll all come out. So,
and how
I think he's still on meth.
How come we don't have any Democrats that will strap a bomb to themselves and go blow this guy up? I don't understand it.
Okay.
All right, let's dial it down.
Let's dial it down a little bit here. A little bit.
All right.
A little bit.
And that, my friends, is why I will not be running for office.
Okay? I was gonna say.
Yeah. No. You're done. That's it. No, you're not going to office. No.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
And here's another thing too. If the Republicans are accusing you of some kind of cheating, you're using the mail-in ballot so you can stuff the ballot box with ballots that aren't legitimate. You know what? That means they're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not standing by
when they say that marriage is between one man and one woman and nothing else, they're getting sucked off by some guy in the airport men's room. That's happening.
I bring you Lindsey Graham.
And many others, I'm sure.
And his pink AR-15.
The log cabin conservatives. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, the log cabin, I have no problems with the log cabin conservatives. They're conservatives. They're open about it.
They're actually conservatives.
Yeah, they believe. Yeah, they're conservative. They're true conservative. They believe in less government, but they're gay.
Yeah.
They're not less government, but we can't have gay people. They're,
Did you ever?
It's a hard battle for them, but still, I have more respect for them.
In the cloakroom.
Did you see the
airport bathroom?
Did you see the movie Outrage, the documentary?
No.
It's a documentary about the Republicans who vote against every issue that could benefit gays. Every issue. And they're gay.
Oh,
That's the people I'm talking about.
yeah.
What's his name? The guy from Idaho.
They're openly gay? Oh,
Larry Craig?
Larry Craig, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, him. And there was a guy who I've actually interviewed. There was a guy from California, and he was a real go-getter, a real comer in the Republican Party. David Dreyer, good-looking, well-spoken.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, one day, they find out that his chief of staff, whenever he travels somewhere, his chief of staff comes in there one day later. Every place he travels.
Kind of like Hoover.
Yeah.
J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah.
And so this guy who was just, he looks like a president. Right. And I don't know I know he's not in office. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he's sure as hell not in office. And it's kind of sad, all that potential, but one of the things they mentioned in this movie, they talked to a lot of people who were, staff of different politicians. And they said, DC is gay Disneyland for staffers.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
It is, people don't understand that. It is just, I lived in DC, and I remember that I lived in a neighborhood. It was a very bohemian neighborhood. And there were a lot of gay people there, and it was the safest neighborhood for women in DC because there were so many gay bars. And there was a place called, I can't remember the name of it now, but the owner of this bar, he saw me do stand-up, and he said, "I'd love to have you come to my club." I didn't know it was a gay bar, and I'd like you to, perform. And could you bring another comic with you? So I said, sure. So, and he was paying us a lot of money. I mean, this is 1984, and he was paying us $100 each for 15 minutes.
Wow.
And so the acts that went on before us were drag queens.
Well,
and they were great. They were great. They were so good. And the guys in the front row would be handing them $5 bills. They'd be going, "Thank you, dear. Thank you, sweetheart." So my friend Ed Wilzinski, he's opening our part of the show. It's just me and him. And Ed's a good-looking guy. And a guy is holding a $5 bill. What? And Ed has no idea what to do. And he looks at me, and I go, "Take the 5. Take the 5. Mark, do you want to sign off?
What's that? No, I'm looking.
You want to sign off?
I'm looking up David Dreyer.
So, have you signed off? Are we signing off yet?
Oh, we can sign off. Yeah. Hold on. Hey, everybody! Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Off Night. We're going to continue our discussion.
Just saying.
But we'll be back here next Monday night at 8:00. Good night, everybody.
Ciao, babies.